All right, let's talk about one of the hottest and maybe one of the riskiest new things happening in crypto right now, liquid restaking. We're going to break down what it is, why it's so powerful, and where the hidden dangers are.
So let's just start with a number that's got everybody's attention. Over $10 billion. That's how much money is poured into these liquid restaking protocols. And that isn't just hype. It's a signal that the very engine of crypto yield is being rewired right in front of us.
And this crazy growth isn't just a flash in the pan. As many have pointed out, it's really a testament to just how fast DeFi innovates. It's a fundamental shift in how you can put your crypto assets to work.
So to really get a handle on this, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the evolution of yield to see how we even got here. Then we're going to pop the hood and see how this whole machine actually works. After that, we have to talk about the big one, systemic risk. And we'll finish up with a super practical checklist to help you navigate this new world.
Okay, Section 1, the evolution of yield. You see, to really understand liquid restaking, you got to look at where it came from. The ways we earn returns in crypto have been changing so fast, and this is just the latest, and frankly, the most complicated chapter yet.
It's really a pretty clear three-step process. First we had regular old staking, where your ETH was just locked away, doing its job. Then liquid staking came along and gave you a sort of tokenized receipt, an LSD, that you could then go use in other DeFi apps. And now we have this third layer, liquid restaking, which lets you take that same asset and use it to secure a whole bunch of other networks at the same time.
And that's the absolute key difference right here. An LST, a liquid staking token, represents ETH that's securing just one network, Ethereum. Simple enough? But an LRT, a liquid restaking token, represents that ETH securing a whole basket of new services, all at once. So yeah, it unlocks another layer of potential for your capital, but it also adds a whole new layer of things that can go wrong.
Okay, so let's get into the mechanics. Let's see how this thing actually works, this powerful, multi-layered yield machine. This is where it gets really interesting.
So to put it simply, you take your staked ETH or your liquid staking token and you hand it over to an LRT protocol. They do all the complicated stuff. They manage the restaking across all these different new services for you. And in exchange, they give you back this new token, the LRT, which is basically your claim on your original investment.
And this slide gets right to the heart of the problem. It's something called agency risk. Just look at this table. The LRT protocol, they make every single important decision. They pick the services to secure, they manage all the security, they hunt for the best yield. But look who's on the other side. Who's on the hook for all the risk if any of those decisions turn out to be bad? It's you, the person holding the token. You've given up control, but you're still carrying all the risk.
And that brings us to the most critical part of this whole thing, the hidden risks that are built into this multi-layered system. You know the saying, with great power comes great responsibility? Well, here, with great yield comes great fragility. It's kind of like a financial house of cards.
Right. Because everything is so interconnected, so layered on top of each other, a single failure doesn't just stay put. No, it can cause a massive domino effect that ripples through the entire DeFi world. So let's walk through exactly how that might happen.
So it all starts here. Let's say one of those new services that's being secured, an AVS, has a big software bug, or worse, gets attacked. This can trigger what's called a slashing event. And slashing is basically a penalty. The network destroys a portion of the ETH that was staked to secure it as a punishment.
Okay, so now what happens? Well, your LRT is just a claim on that underlying ETH that just got partially destroyed. So the actual value backing your token has gone down. And the market figures this out in a split second. This causes your LRT to depeg, which just means its price on the open market drops below what it's supposed to be worth. And that's when the panic starts to creep in.
And this is where the real fire spreads. See, tons of people are using these LRTs as collateral to take out loans all over DeFi. As soon as the LRT depegs, all those loans are suddenly at risk of being liquidated. This kicks off a huge wave of forced selling, which pushes the price down even more, which triggers even more selling, and you get this vicious death spiral.
And if that wasn't scary enough, all this risk is highly concentrated. You've got billions of dollars flowing into just a small handful of big LRT protocols. That means their decisions, their choice of which services to secure, suddenly become critical to the health of the entire system. A single mistake or security flaw at just one of these providers could put everyone at risk. That's a huge single point of failure.
Okay, so after all that doom and gloom, what can you actually do about it? Well, the interesting thing is we can turn all this risk analysis into some really practical questions that any investor should be asking. This is about being smart and doing your homework.
So this checklist really comes down to 4 key areas. First, look at the protocol itself. How are they actually managing risk? Are they open about which services they're backing? Second, how diverse are those services? I mean, are they all related where one failure could cause them all to fail? Third, how solid is the core system, eigenlayer, and actually handling these slashing events? And finally, and this might be the most important one in a crisis, how easy is it to actually sell your token? A huge yield means nothing if you can't get your money out when you really need to.
And that leaves us with this one big final question. This technology is incredible, and it really does promise to build a more efficient, more secure, decentralized world. But we have to ask ourselves, in this race for higher and higher yields, are we accidentally building the system's most critical point of failure? That is the billion-dollar question at the heart of liquid restaking.